Today is the day. I finally am taking the Chrysler 300 to a state office, Manchester, New Hampshire, to attempt to get a rebuilt title on it. So this car had a salvage title, and now everything's fixed. A couple things I've done to it since the last video that I made. I replaced all the brakes, new rotors and pads, front and rear. It was well worth it. Totally different car now, just so smooth. Both front axles I replaced. They both had torn inner boots, and it just wasn't worth it to replace the boots. It's pretty inexpensive to replace the axles. I can't remember what it was, something like $100 a piece, somewhere in that area. But yeah, I'm on my way. Let's see how it goes. The car is driving great. See, everything works. There is nothing wrong with the car. I do have one thing that check engine light pops up every now and then. I keep resetting it, but it's complaining about an oxygen sensor being low. And I went on Rock Auto and just ordered all 4 new oxygen sensors because they're cheap. They were like $16 a piece. Figured car's got 115,000 miles on it. Doesn't hurt to put all new oxygen sensors in it just to be sure. I've also replaced all the plugs. Yeah, it's pretty close to being done. I also have to replace an axle seal on the passenger side that goes into the front differential. That is leaking oil. I probably screwed it up when I changed the axle without even realizing it, but yeah, so when I come to a stop, sometimes I can smell a little burning oil. It's leaking from there. I hope it's just slinging it onto the exhaust. I've looked everywhere on the engine. I can't find anywhere that it's leaking anywhere. So yeah, that's it. Let's recap when we get to the state office and see how this goes. I've never done this before, so I don't know what it's going to be like. Wish me luck. Well, that was a failure. So I went to Manchester. The inspection guy was super cool, but he did find 2 issues. One of them I think is pretty ridiculous, but the other one, I guess, the center rear seatbelt is missing. And honestly, in all the work I did to this, it's not something I even picked up on. I guess it should have been pretty obvious, but I just didn't even notice it was missing until he was like, hey, buckle all the seatbelts and open all the doors. And he went through all the windows, all the controls, everything was fine. And he was like, yeah, you have to have that rear seatbelt, that center one. I was like, okay, whatever. The other thing it failed for was one windshield wiper is slightly torn. And I was like, I don't care about that. I mean, I could run like across the street pretty much to a parts store and get new windshield wipers. Like, but that seatbelt's going to take a little bit of time to get. I did find one on eBay. It was like $230. With the amount of money I've put into this already in parts and the amount of money I'm saving on it, it's not a big deal. The car drove beautifully all the way there and back, really starting to like it. And now I've got some plans. So I've been saying all along I might keep the car. Well, now I think I'm really going to keep the car. I test drove a few days ago a brand new Charger RT Plus, and it was a really nice one. Like, it had the track pack, launch control, which I was surprised it would have that in an RT, but I'd never driven one of the modern Chargers before. And it was only a 5.7. It wasn't like a 6.1 or a 6.4. It wasn't a special model. But I could not believe how it drove. Like, the thing felt like a complete race car, like made for the road. I was really impressed. The engine's essentially the same as what's in the 300. So now, that was about a $60,000 car though. And so now, I think I'm going to kind of do some little tasteful mods to the 300 and try to make it similar to the Charger. I know it won't ever be that, but let me just go over a couple things I think I'm going to do to it. Now, for starters, I might change out the front bumper, but I'm not totally sure on that. I don't know a ton about what's out there for these cars. I know there's a lot of support for these, but what I'm leaning towards doing, and I'm going to have to do a test piece before I do anything on this car, but I think everything that's chrome is going to go black chrome. I have a black chrome spray bomb. It's a lacquer. And what I want to do is go over everything that's chrome and then go over it with automotive clear, like with a real gun, so it's really well done and nice. And I'm talking like everything that's chrome. Like this piece here, the grill, the mirrors, door handles, this piece in the back. This piece I'd clean up, get the paint off it and redo it in black chrome. I want to get like a Hellcat style wheel for it. These are not the wheels that came on the car. My father had these. One of my tires when I got this car was completely flat spotted. It was almost like they towed it on a trailer or something with one wheel locked up. I don't really understand what happened there, but it was bad. Like you could feel it driving. And until I bought new tires, my father was like, hey, just use these. So I threw these on. But yeah, I want to get some like Hellcat style wheels or something like that. Either black chrome or maybe like a bronze. Not totally sure. I do want to change out the rear bumper. It needs it anyways. It's got this little tear. I'm sorry, the car is filthy. It's been raining a lot here and I live on a dirt road. And I had to make a new plate. I got a 20-day plate for it, and the very next day I went through the car wash and it was gone. So today's the last day that plate was good. So next time I take this to go get it inspected by the state, it will probably be on a trailer, but whatever. But yeah, so anyways, continuing on. New rear bumper. I know they make some that like are kind of aggressive and have the, now I can't think of the word for it, but like the fins in the back. It's like an air dam, but as soon as I get done with the video, it'll come to me. I want to put a different exhaust on it. I don't want it to be as loud as that Charger was. That Charger sounded amazing. Like, it sounded so good. I want it to be like in between what this sounds like now and what the Charger sounds like. I don't want a lot of drone in the car driving down like the interstate, but I do want it to have some aggressive sound to it. Last thing for the exterior is I want to get a different hood. I know they make some different types. Some of them have like the like a little hood scoop here. It's all different kinds that you can get. I'm going to do some looking around for that. And then for the interior, there's a few things here I want to do as well. I want to get different seats, but I want factory seats out of something. I'm not sure exactly what yet, because I want them to be like the sport seat, like a Scat Pack or something like that, or maybe even just the RT. But I want to keep them being vented. These seats are a little bit rough anyways. I mean, they're not terrible, but they need to be able to plug into this harness because I'm not doing that again. And they need to be vented and heated and power. And so I'm going to have to look into what I can get for that. And then the only other thing for the interior is I think I'm going to replace all this with, there's a company that makes basically this whole panel, all these controls and everything gets replaced with one big tablet. And they do a really nice job of integrating it so it looks factory. Now, one of the biggest reasons I want to do that, or a couple reasons. This is a 2013, and the resolution on this screen is not very good. But that's not the number one reason. The number one reason is that in 2013, they didn't have Apple CarPlay. I know that seems ridiculous, but I love my Apple CarPlay, and especially wireless Apple CarPlay. And so this new head unit, whatever you want to call it, it does all your controls. You keep all your factory steering wheel controls. There's all kinds of cool stuff you can do with it, and it looks original. It looks completely factory. It's pretty pricey. It's between $800 and $1,000, but it will completely change this car. Oh, and going to the big city of Manchester today wasn't a complete waste of time. I went to the mall after I failed my test with the car, and I picked up some new glasses. Nice little glasses here. I needed them. But yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for this video. I just gave you my whole wish list of things I intend to do. Oh, the one other thing, and I'm gonna have to talk to some people on Facebook group or forum or do some research. I would also really like to change the throttle response of the car. This being a luxury car, it has a really long throw-in pedal, and so it's not snappy unless you really like get into it. You really have to put the pedal down quite a bit. I noticed that Charger I drove was tuned totally different. So if you barely touch the pedal, it was like gonna rev a lot more than what this would. And it just made it way more aggressive to drive and a lot more fun. So I'm gonna look into seeing what I can do about that too. But that's gonna do it for this video. When I get all my parts together and I'm ready to actually start changing this car, I will make a new video, show you guys then. Thanks for watching.